my fellow oddities, and welcome to a new video. Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the 2021 live-action Mortal Kombat movie, is officially set to release this October, but we still have not gotten a trailer yet. But it has been officially confirmed that sometime this month, that will change. But we don't actually know when yet. Some have said as early as next week, others say we'll have to wait till the end of the month. But we do know it's coming this month in July, and when it does, I will be streaming my live reaction and breakdown, so make sure to follow me on Twitch to see that. The link is in the top right corner and in the description below. And instead of doing the standard boring old predictions where I just list off what I think will happen in the trailer, I thought I'd do something a bit more fun with predictions in the form of a bingo card. If you've been a subscriber for a while, you might remember that when Mortal Kombat 1 was coming out, we did a bingo card for that game and did get bingo. So let's try it again with the Mortal Kombat 2 movie trailer. So here is the bingo card we have. If you don't know how bingo works, you have to cross out, or in this case get correct, an entire column, row, or diagonal of predictions. We have a free space in the middle which is guaranteed to count, and for that free space, I put in Techno Syndrome. We're gonna get it in some form in this trailer. It would just be crazy if we didn't. The last movie's trailer had it, and plus a lot of people thought that they didn't use it enough in the actual movie, so they're more than likely going to try and compensate for that. But let's start with that top left spot. Cole Young, your time has come. There's no way out of this one. I believe it is extremely likely Cole Young dies in this movie. It hasn't been confirmed, but judging by his reception from the last film, plus the fact that Warner Bros. Probably isn't forcing him in anymore like they did previously, he has no reason to exist. We already know he's not the main character, as Lewis Tan made sure to tell me on my Twitter. I felt very bad about that. So why not just satisfy the fans and kill him off? And if you want to get those fans on board to buy a ticket and give this movie a chance after being disappointed by the last one, show it in the trailer and I promise this movie will make $1 billion. Not actually, but many people will be very happy, including myself. Next one. An unannounced character appears. So far, we've had a bunch of characters confirmed for this movie, obviously all the ones from the first film, but also Johnny Cage, Kitana, Jade, Sindel, Shao Kahn, Baraka, Quan Chi, and probably more, I don't remember, but I do think in this trailer we will see a character we don't already know about. I'm just reminded of the first movie's trailer where Goro pops out of nowhere and we didn't already know about him, which was like the biggest surprise from that trailer. So I think we're gonna get another moment like that, maybe with a Kentaro or Smoke or Kuai Liang. I just think we're gonna get a surprise in terms of characters in this trailer. Next prediction, crappy CGI. We already saw a leaked image that may be real, maybe not, of Baraka, and the CGI for his mouth looked kinda dodgy, and many think that image is from this trailer. I think we're gonna see a moment or a CGI character that just makes you go, ooh, and then reminds you that these movies don't have the biggest budget. Though if this prediction did come true, I would be like a little concerned, because this movie was in post-production for like a year and a half. It wrapped up filming in January of last year. So if there was bad CGI, I'd be like, what the hell were you doing all this time? But I do think it's a good shout. Then we have a plus 1000 aura moment. This is Mortal Kombat with a bunch of badass characters with badass fights and abilities, so I think we're gonna get a moment similar to that first movie's trailer where Bi-Han sliced Scorpion, froze his blood in midair, and then stabbed him with it. Remember all the reactions to that? In fact, I would not be surprised if it was Bi-Han again who has that moment in this next one. But I just think we're gonna get a really awesome fight scene moment, or a really badass line delivery, or just character doing something really cool, like, I don't know, looking away from an explosion, and the aura will just be on the next level. Moving on, next we have a beautiful shot. This one is a bit self-explanatory. This is a film, and a major part of film is cinematography. The first movie's trailer had some nice shots, like the ones of the desert, and the one with Liu Kang walking in front of the sun, and I think we're just gonna get something really awesome here, maybe of Outworld, praying that it's Purple Outworld. Next one, Adenia flashbacks. King Jared and Sindel have both been cast in this movie. Sindel could just be a part of the main story, but there's absolutely no way that King Jared doesn't die in some sort of Adenia flashback, so those are basically confirmed for the movie. It's just a matter of will they show it in the trailer. And I think they will, solely so that they can show the death and gore of a character that we already know is going to die. I remember a lot of people being upset by the first movie's trailer showing some major character deaths, so I think they'll be more careful with that this time around and show fatalities on absolute nobodies so that people don't feel spoiled. And now this next one, the more I've seen, the more I've really been turning around on Karl Urban as Johnny. Now, we've only gotten still images, but in that poster they released and in that screenshot they showed, he looks really good. Still not an ideal casting, but I'm shocked with how good they've made him look. I think he's going to be great in this trailer. I honestly do. I think he's going to crack jokes, his fight scenes and his green glow are going to look awesome, and I just think we're going to kind of forget about the whole age thing. Though I am a bit concerned about the accent. I don't really watch a lot of Karl Urban's movies. So you guys let me know in the comments. I know he's a very well-respected actor. Does he do a good American accent? Because honestly, if he does, I think we're in good hands here. Next one we have here is a classic fatality recreated. I don't actually know which one they go with though, because a lot of the OG characters' iconic fatalities were already used in the last movie, and the new characters like Kitana, Baraka, Jade don't really have like super iconic fatalities to use. But I do think they'll find one and use it in the trailer. Maybe Sonya's Kiss of Death, maybe the spine rip. I'm shocked they didn't do that one in the first movie. Maybe Jax's arm rip, or probably the most likely is a Johnny's uppercut. So they do have options there. And also I've heard some rumors that they might recreate some more recent fatalities. That doesn't count to this specific spot. It says classic fatality recreated, not just fatality recreated. So if they do something from Mortal Kombat 1, 11, X, something like that, it doesn't count for this spot. Then we have character from the first movie has new powers. This happens in a lot of sequels, especially superhero movies, so stuff like the MCU, where in between films, a character will develop new abilities off screen, and I think we're going to see that in this movie, and specifically in the trailer. I have a feeling it might be Liu Kang, or maybe Shang Tsung might develop his morphing ability, which we didn't see in the last one, or it could be Cole Young, since he has a lot of establishing to do when it comes to his powers since he's so new, but I have a feeling he's not going to be in the trailer that long. But yeah, that's really all I have for that one. Moving on to the next, Shao Kahn barely shown. I think they're really going to try and keep Shao in the shadows for this trailer, just showing small glimpses, trying to build him up, and then in the last shot of the trailer, we might see our first full good look at him. I don't know why I feel this way, but I really think they're going to do Shao Kahn really good justice in this movie. I think they're going to make him the calculating, scary, badass villain he should be, and this trailer will showcase just how seriously they're taking him compared to how his recent form has been in Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1, where he's just a big brute baby. Oh, and this next one I feel very strongly about. MCU humor. I think the humor in this trailer, which I think they're going to lean into considering the interviews from the writer and how Kano was received in the last one, plus how the humor has been in the games for quite a bit. I think we're going to see some kind of cringy quips and one-liners, mostly from Johnny, maybe from Kano if he's in the trailer. But I could also see some like weirdly out-of-place humor with a character like Baraka or Raiden or Shang Tsung for some reason. I do think we're going to get some sort of MCU, he's right behind me, isn't he, humor in this trailer at some point. That's going to make me kind of cringe a little. I also think we're going to get more of those weird, I don't even know what you'd call them, like where the characters say Kano wins or flawless victory, like we got a lot in the first movie. I do think it is kind of charming, but also at the same time kind of unintentionally funny to just have these characters announcing themselves.
Fatality.
I'm surprised we didn't get any references to Toasty in the last movie, if I'm remembering correctly, so I think that'll be the one they most likely go with in this next trailer. Also, this doesn't count towards the spot if it actually happens, but I feel like they're going to make a consult the other gods joke in this movie, which, with this version of Raiden, would be hilarious. Next one, a classic MK stage. Yeah, for some reason we only got one OG Mortal Kombat arena in the first movie with the pit, and they didn't even do the pit fatality on the pit. I don't know how they fumbled that so hard. Even the 1995 movie didn't really have any classic Mortal Kombat stages, so I think they'll have the opportunity to fix that, and I think they will take it. MK2, the game, has some iconic stages, the Deadpool, the Tower, the Portal, the Coliseum. I mean, The Coliseum is like almost guaranteed to be in this movie, but you also got the Armory, the Living Forest, the Wastelands. There are plenty of options to go with, so there's really no excuse to not have at least 3 of these, and I think we'll see 1 or 2 of them in the trailer. And along those same lines, I also think we're going to see at least 3 different realms. I think this is basically a lock if you think about it logically, because we're obviously getting Outworld. We'll definitely see at least a little bit of Earthrealm, and then just 1 other one. If I'm correct about Adenia, like I said earlier, then it'll be that, but we also know the Netherrealm is in this movie, so I'm pretty confident for this one. I'm also pretty confident that we're gonna get a garbage character design. The first film was a mixed bag when it came to designs. There were some really cool and awesome ones like Sub-Zero, Kung Lao, and Cabal, but there were also some whack ones like Reiko, Melina, and Reptile. So far, I think the designs for the sequel have looked good. Shao Kahn looks awesome, Kitana is okay, Johnny is just Johnny, and besides the shaky CGI, I think Baraka looks good, obviously, if that leak is real. And even though we might see an improvement, I think just by the nature of the last movie, it is inevitable that one of these character designs is just dog shit. And I feel like my prediction personally is Jade, because we've heard rumors that she might be bald or have short hair, which would be really odd. I also think it could be Quan Chi or Sindel though. This next one's an absolute lock, gorier than the first movie's trailer. It's a sequel, it's gotta be bigger, it's gotta be better, and when it's Mortal Kombat, it's gotta be gorier too. I think we're gonna see this movie really stretch the boundaries of what's acceptable even for rated R, and we'll see that in the trailer. I just hope that they don't show all of the awesome fatalities before the movie releases. Gotta save some surprises. I also hope they don't make it too much of a gore fest like the Legends movies. Save the gory moments as moments to keep them special and not just a constant bloodbath. Then we have major lore changes. Now, if it's carrying over from the first movie, it doesn't count. So Cole Young, Arcana, the dragon marking, stuff like that, I don't even really think is going to be in the movie that much, but it doesn't count towards this. It has to be new major lore changes, and I do think we'll see that with maybe the backstory or the structure of the tournament, maybe a character's motivations or even allegiance. I just think we're going to see something majorly different that switches things up for better or for worse. I think we'll most likely see it with Kitana and her relationships, considering she is the main character of the movie. I think she's going to have a different relationship with Shao Kahn than we've seen before, with Sindel, maybe even Jade. I think they might actually make Jade a villain in this movie, like straight up villain. I don't really know why I feel this way. I think I remember hearing rumors that she was very unlikable, so that makes me kind of think, ooh, maybe her relationship with Kitana isn't as tight-knit. I wouldn't like that at all. I don't know why they would do that, but it's just my hunch. Next one is quite minor. I think we're going to get a 3D era Easter egg. Whether it's a character or lore moment, remember, Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are both confirmed to be in this movie. Do not be surprised if they team up, or we get a name drop, or something like that, referencing the Deadly Alliance. But I also think we could just get something a little bit more simple, like a poster on a wall, or something more akin to the first movie. It's kinda odd, but also somewhat relieving that we haven't had any 3D era characters confirmed for this movie. No, Quan Chi doesn't count, even if you consider MK4 3D. He still originated in the 2D MK mythologies, but I do think this is a good thing since all of the 3D era characters in the last movie jobbed and died, so I think it's good that they're not just gonna waste them here. Okay, this next one is really weird, literally just a very strange hunch that I have with absolutely no evidence. I think we're going to get a DC reference in this trailer. Most likely in the form of a joke from Johnny Cage. Maybe he name drops one of them, or maybe he's even played them in the past in one of his movies, but I think we're going to get a mention of Superman or Batman or one of the other characters. They're both owned by WB, and I would not be surprised if, and you guys might think I'm crazy for this, or that this is completely out of the realm of possibility, but do not be surprised if they try to set up an MK versus DC movie. All right, if the MKU and the DCU are both successful going forward, Superman's coming out next week, do not be surprised if they try to set that up. Bottom row now, meme-worthy moment. Last trailer we had, it's a birthmark. What do you mean? He was born with it.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole.
And then even in the actual movie, we had some really meme-worthy dialogue from Kano and Cabal.
He's about to get his soul sucked.
So I do think we will get a moment that ends up getting turned into a meme, intentionally or not, most likely not. Maybe it could be that MCU humor moment I was talking about earlier. Next one, X-rays. I must be crazy or something, because I swear when the first movie was coming out that we heard someone, the producer, the writer, the director, someone say that there would be X-rays in that movie, and then there just like wasn't. And then Suicide Squad, which came out later that year, had an X-ray scene, but Mortal Kombat didn't. Why? I think this might be one of the more unlikely ones. It is a good shout just in case it does happen, but for whatever reason, I feel like they're just not going to do this despite it being awesome, but I could also see it happening, so just want to leave it here in case. All right, one of our last ones, Johnny doesn't take his sunglasses off. I think Johnny will be keeping those sunglasses on for the entire duration of the trailer. Obviously, at some point in the movie, he's going to take them off, but for the trailer, I don't think you'll see his eyes at all, unless you look really closely, but I don't know why you do that. I think the reason for this is that the trailer is going to want to get as good a reception as it possibly can, and I don't think they want to risk showing Karl Urban's eyes and having people complain that he looks old. Plus, these sunglasses are just so iconic for Johnny, and Karl is such a recognizable actor that people might see Karl Urban or Billy the Butcher without the sunglasses instead of Johnny Cage. Second to last prediction, I think we're going to see at least 6 different fight scenes. 6 different matchups. I think one of them will definitely be Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. I think another might be Johnny Cage versus Baraka. We might get some glimpses of the final battle, Kitana versus Shao Kahn, I'd be assuming. Other than that, obviously we have to get Scorpion versus Bihan again. But yeah, we've heard that this movie has a bunch of different fight scenes, so I'm sure we'll just get a fraction of those in this trailer. In fact, in all likelihood, they're probably just going to do a montage of a bunch of different fights, and that'll probably include more than 6. But now we're at the last spot, and I think this is probably the best one to end off with. Ed Boon's Get Over Here. Now, the last trailer, we had Hiroyuki Sanada say, "Get over here."
Get over here!
But then in the final movie, it was changed and voiced by someone else. I have no idea who.
Get over here!
But neither were that classic Ed Boon voiced version of it, and now with him as a major part of the production of this second movie, there is no reason he shouldn't be the one doing it this time. I would feel kind of bad for Hiroyuki Sanada, since his voice would have been replaced twice now, but it just kind of is what it is, I think. It's what the fans want and expect. It's a tradition that'll continue on and on until... yeah, let's not think about that. But yeah, that'll do it for my Mortal Kombat 2 trailer bingo card. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to do very well and get bingo from this. You guys let me know in the comments down below what your predictions are for the Mortal Kombat 2 movie trailer. And while you're down there, make sure to check out the links in the description to my Twitch, where I will start streaming very soon, as well as my merch store and other social media. Also, make sure to give this video a like to show your support, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to know when I next upload a new video. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.